Are you ready for episode 9 of the MSPT podcast presented by PokerNews? I'm Chad Holloway, joined by Kyna England to give you all the latest from the MSPT, which isn't a lot, Kyna, because there's only been one stop since our last episode.
I know, we're winding down here. One stop to talk about and one stop to go.
That's right. It was the penultimate stop of season 16. We're going to get into that here in a minute. If you missed the last episode that we did, episode 8, that was a recap of season 16 of 2025. Up until this point, we talked about Faraz Jaka, Angela Jordanson, all the winners from the season. You might want to go check that out because it really sets the stage for what's about to happen here heading in to the last stop of the season. We're going to talk with Jake Long a little bit later in this episode, Kyna. He's going to be our first two-time guest.
Yeah, or is like our only guest though, right? Who else was a guest?
I had Umut on there,
yeah.
And Josh sat down with me at one point.
Oh, right. Okay, we're gonna have to get more of you guys for next year. We're coming for you.
Yeah, and I asked him because he had a great stop at Ameristar East Chicago, which is the stop we're going to talk about. He took the Player of the Year points lead from Umut Ozturk, who of course is going for his third Player of the Year in a row. So as it stands right now, Jake Long is back in the lead with 9,732 points, slightly ahead of Umut Ozturk, who has 9,467 points. So less than 300 points separate these two. This is going to come down to the wire, kind of like your Player of the Year race did several years ago.
Yeah, it's really exciting though. I mean, but the good thing is they have 19 events, probably actually 18 or 17, right? Because one of them's the seniors and one of them's a ladies event or something, which is very cool that they're finally having a ladies event. We'll get to that. They are, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
So yeah, you're referring to the last stop of the season, which is December 2nd through the 14th, the Winter Poker Classic at Running Aces in Minnesota, 18 gold card events. But like you said, there are some events there that don't count towards Player of the Year, like the tag team event, I think is one of them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the schedule. They definitely have a seniors, trying to see if there's a ladies event at this one. I don't think there is at this one.
No, I thought it was the first stop they were going to put. I thought I heard that. Maybe I'm wrong, that was the first stop where there would be a ladies
Oh, no,
event.
there is. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Event number 8, $200 ladies monster stack. I'm sorry. I just seen it tucked away in the schedule. So,
all right.
It's going
to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch them. To watch them go, head to head. It'll be the whole 2 weeks of tournaments that they get to battle it out, and it will come down to the end. As if Umut stays, I don't know, but since they have the main event at the beginning, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, this is interesting because almost all MSPT stops have, side events leading up to the main event. But because of the busy December schedule for poker, you have the World Series of Poker Paradise, WPT World Championship, you have the EPT Prague, and some other smaller stops. Basically, the MSPT didn't want to conflict with that and put the players to the test. A lot of MSPT players do like to go out to Las Vegas, might want to go down to the Bahamas. So Brian and Jeremy and those guys said, you know what, let's put it at the beginning of the schedule. So the main event itself, which I'm actually going to go up for, is December 4th through the 7th. So that first weekend. But then, like you said, there's 10, 11 gold card events after that. So it's really going to come down to this, I think, kind of this race between Jake and Umut is, how do they do in the main event, right? If they both do bad and it stays the same, then they're almost forced to play in the all the side events, right? Because or if they both do well and don't make up points on each other or get a lead or whatever, then the same could be said. But if one of them doesn't do well and the other does, that could be the difference maker too.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. So we'll definitely be following it. And we're going to talk about it, I guess not until next year then, huh?
Yeah, so let's see. This is coming out. This episode is coming out the day before the main event is going to start. So we'll have one more in December towards the holidays where we will wrap up the Player of the Year, the final stop, and then really set the stage for season 17. And well, let's get into it. Let's talk about this penultimate stop that was at Ameristar East Chicago. I thought I might go down to it. I ended up not. There was some things going on back home and with the family, and it just got to the point how sometimes you just make the decision, do I really want to drive 3.5 hours and deal with traffic?
It's such a pain to get to that stop. Even when I go home and I make a point to go, it's still an hour and a half drive from my mom's house. So yeah, very, very annoying. But it can be a good crowd. Lots of good Chicago players go play there. It's really fun. And I missed out too, but maybe next time. And who won this time?
Well, it was a familiar name, Aaron Johnson, who a month earlier had finished runner-up at the MSPT Riverside to Anthony Kastelic, which we talked about. He comes tops a field of 514 runners to take down this tournament for $92,000 and his second MSPT title, his first since 2019, November 2019. So
Oh, okay.
6 years in between titles.
Yeah, wow. I always, I guess, eBay got it done this time, right? I always joke with him, like, who's his sponsor, because his hat always says some sort of company, like some sort of big company. He never just wears a plain hat. He never wears like a clothing branded hat. It's always like, like eBay, Google, like Pringles, something like that. And I noted, I was like, oh, Aaron Johnson one. What hat is he wearing? Who sponsored him this time? So, good job, Aaron Johnson and eBay.
It was an eBay hat indeed. Big turnout there. 514 runners had $497,000 in the prize pool, well ahead of the 300K guarantee. Some other familiar names at that final table. Lee Renskowski out of Wisconsin finished fifth for 26K. Yoon Kim in ninth for almost 10K. Michael Suggs finished in second place in that one. And then actually 3 Reichards cashed this event.
That's gotta be
Pops.
a record.
Yeah,
That's a first, right? It's probably a first.
I'd have to look. It probably is because I know Charlie Reichard, which is Josh's younger brother. I don't know if it feels like he just started playing. I don't know if he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but
I played with him last time at the Ameristar, last time in August, I played with Charlie.
all right. Well, I want you so that you got Brett Reichard, Pops, the father. You
Pops.
got Josh Reichard, MSPT legend and Hall of Famer, and then young Charlie Reichard. Who do you think did the best?
Pops.
Pops did do the best. He just missed out on making the final table, finished in the 11th for $7,300.
Good job, Pops.
And then who do you think did better, Charlie or Josh?
Probably Josh.
Ooh, you're wrong. Josh took
I'm
38th.
wrong! Oh, you suck, Josh, you're the worst Reichard.
Josh took 38th and Charlie a little bit better in 31st place. So I thought that was kind of cool. Umut Ozturk, who was the player of the year points leader heading into the stop, looking for 3 POYs in a row for the past 3 years. He finished 43rd for 2,393 points. But Jake Long, who was hot on his heels, finished in 22nd place. So
Oh.
Umut got 75 POI points. Jake got 200. So Jake actually made up 125 points in the main event. Now, Kyna, here's the real story about Jake and the other big story aside from Aaron Johnson winning to come out of the MSPT Ameristar East Chicago. Jake Long won not 1, not 2, not 3, but an astounding 4 of the 12 gold cards that were up for grabs. He won 4 of them in side events.
Wow, go Jake, go. That's pretty fun. I mean, I'm sure they were, like, really small side events, whatever, Jake. Good
They
job.
weren't I think the last one, the last one was definitely on the smaller side. It was the $200 last chance. He got 67 POY points, but I believe all the other fields were over 100 players. The first was event number 2, $300 PLO. He won that for almost 6K and 175 POY points. Then he won the PLO No Limit Hold'em mixed event number 5 for 200 player of the year points and $6,300, and then another 200 POY points and $6,500 for winning event number 8, the $250 monster stack. He did this between November 18th and November 23rd. So over the course of 5 days, won 4 gold cards, gave him the player of the year points lead heading into the last stop. And just, I don't know, you just don't hear about people winning literally a third of the side events at any stop in any tour.
Yeah, no, it is pretty cool. Pretty big accomplishment. Like, it's fun to get to do something like that, the MSPT too, because they have so many events and, like lots to play and regulars will go there, so it's just like a unique field of people.
Yeah. I'm looking at the other side event winners from the stop. So Gerald Cuniff, MSPT Hall of Famer, who we actually featured in our MSPT memory segment not long ago. He took down the opener, 168 runners in event number 1, the $300 epic stack for $9,600. You had Jake Long, I said, in event number 2, and then Piotr Gruba in the 250 monster stack. And then you also had Joseph Seltanovitz. Jason Bender was event number 7, $250 monster stack. Jason Bender is an old school MSPT legend out of Iowa, owns a bar there. He was one of the grinders, if you will, like one of the regulars when I worked for the MSPT 10 years ago now, I guess. So like to see Jason Bender win one was a blast from the past for me.
That's cool. I don't think I know him, but I'll look into it.
Yeah,
I probably do know him, but like,
uh,
names.
Jake Long then won event number 8. Dean Stilson took down event number 9 for $7,600. Dave Bashel took down the $300 seniors monster stack, $9,800. This was a big tournament, 143 runners as I mentioned, but also points for the senior player of the year. Which, let me pull this up right now. There was, let's see. Dave Bashel is a Minnesota guy. He wasn't in the running. I've known him for a while, MSPT regular as well. So looking now at the season 16, I want to verify this before I say it. So Jeff Copeland, yes, he finished 4th at this seniors event that Dave Bashel won. So Jeff Copeland out of St. Louis, 150 points for the senior event here for finishing in 4th. He now leads the season 16 senior points with 500 even. Lee
Oh,
Renskowski is hot on his heels, as is Paul Robin with 375 points apiece, and then pops Brett Reichard in 4th with 325 points. So this senior event could come down to the wire too at Running Aces because there is a seniors event there.
yeah, that'll be super fun too. And those guys, they're all, big names, old guy, big names, but there they are. Good job, guys.
And if you remember, the winner of the season 16 senior player of the year will win $5,000. So that's,
Oh wow, that's
yeah.
something.
Yeah, they did that with that, and then there's also a Icon of the Year. They'll win $10,000 main event seat, and that one is not so close because Umut Ozturk, of course, who is contending for Player of the Year, is 3rd in a row. He has 9,467 points, well ahead of Josh Reichard in 2nd with 7,224 points. So, barring Josh winning the main event at Running Aces and some side events, I think it's pretty safe to say that Umut Ozturk is going to be the MSPT Season 16 Icon Player of the Year, which is pretty incredible
Wow.
in itself.
Yeah, good job. I mean, what a bummer though. Like I was really trying hard for that one,
I mean, you have been in the top 10 for a while, and you still are in the top
I
10.
know, right?
You're you're in 9th with
I'm like
1,900 points.
comfortable. I think I started off the year in like 4th, and then just slowly made my way to 9th. But I'm still on that list every time they post it. So one thing to be happy about.
You're ahead of Aaron Massey by 300
All
points. So
right, that's an accomplishment in itself.
you're actually ahead of Aaron. You're ahead of Ku Vang, Rich Alsup,
Oh,
Nick Papillo, Blake Bone. You're ahead of some Matt Alexander, Pat Steele. You're ahead of a lot of the good ones.
hey, go me go! The only lady in the group too. I think. I think they probably add Angela next year, but or maybe not. I don't know. What do you have to be an icon? Like you have to have a Player of the Year or a Hall of Fame.
I don't even know, to be honest. Let me see
I
if
don't
I.
know either.
Yeah, I think it
Seems like
is.
Angela winning 2 titles should earn her a place, though.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like Player of the Year, Hall of Fame status, and then
Oh,
it could be like a certain amount of money. I really don't know. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. Um, let's talk. Let's see. I think that was it for all the side event winners. Nope. Let me. There was 2 more. Event number 11, Raymond Zhu topped the field, 121 runners for $8,200, and then Jake Long. Mentioned he won the Last Chance Monster Stack, the last event of the series, which I think is a good segue, kind of for us to bring in Jake, because
yeah.
we reached out to him. We said, "Hey, you got the Player of the Year points. This is one stop to come. We're going to release this episode the day before. You want to come talk about it?" So he did. This is our interview with Jake Long. All right, we are with our guest on this episode of the MSPT podcast presented by Poker News, the first 2-time guest on the show, Jake Long. Thanks for taking the time to chat with Kyna and I again.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me again.
I wanted to get you, and it was a surprise to Kyna. I said, we're going to have Jake again because he just had a great series down at Ameristar East Chicago, winning 4 titles, which is crazy. But that also gave you the Player of the Year points lead right now over Umut Ozturk. It's a tight race. You've got 9,732 points. He's got 9,467. There's one stop to go. Like, how are you feeling, Jake? Knowing that you got the lead, but there's still one stop to go.
Feeling good going into the series. I think my goal was to just make up maybe like half the ground. I think I was down about 600 against him in the undercard events, and I just kind of really outperformed any expectations that I had and pretty much made up all the ground. But at the same time, I'm a little disappointed because I kind of punted with like 22 players left in the main, and I could have put a little bit of a separation in between us too. So, you know, bittersweet.
Yeah, I saw that. You finished 22nd, got
Yeah.
200 player of the year points in the main. He finished, I don't remember what it was, he got 75 points. So you did make
Yeah.
up 125, but you're right. Like if you would have done a
Yeah.
little deeper, it would have
Yeah.
been even more.
I was
So,
close to where the points started adding up a lot faster. 22nd to maybe like 7th or 8th place, I would have made like 600 points or something. And I could have just played tight and got there, but I went for it, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
kinda, you're known for going for it. You're not afraid, and you won player of the year at one point with that strategy.
I mean, yeah, I also take big spots, pretty risky that I don't necessarily need to take, but sometimes it gets you there, sometimes it doesn't. But points on the board, good job.
Thank you.
Well, one of the big stories out of that stop, we're going to talk about we already Aaron Johnson winning the main event, but the other big story was the side events. This was a 12 gold card stop. You won 4 of them. You literally won a third of them, which is just insane. Like, what was that experience like for you to, win the first one in event number 2, and then event number 5, then event number 8, and then the last event of this series?
Yeah, the first one was PLO, and the second one was half PLO, half no limit. And I've always really liked playing PLO and been comfortable playing PLO. And I think, especially in those smaller buy-in events, even deep in the tournament, you'll see people make big mistakes that you won't necessarily see people doing late in like main events or in maybe higher buy-in PLO or whatever. So I was kind of able to take advantage of some of those mistakes, and I had a lot of chips in for sure the first one, and just kind of cruised in that one, and then just ran good the rest of the time.
Were there, I know you travel a lot with like Farm Boy and Josh Reichard. There's always a lot of MSPT regulars. I didn't see the final table results for these side events. Did you go up against any of those guys or anybody you recognized?
Off the top of my head, in the first two PLO, I hope I'm not shortchanging somebody, but I don't think there was anybody that I really knew that well, or they're just kind of acquaintances or whatever, but mostly like Chicago locals. Um, the last tournament, the last chance one, was basically just like our group of guys. Jeremy was actually going to cancel the tournament because he didn't have enough players. And I told him, I said, "Hey, can we just? I mean, let's just." It was like an hour after or whatever, and I said, "Let's just start it, but let's just start it on like level 3, because that way we can get going. You guys don't want to be here all night, neither do we." So he agreed to it as long as everybody else did, and it was like Josh, his little brother Charlie, my buddy Joel Brown, who rode with me and stayed with me, was in there. Farm Boy was in there. Jerry Cuniff was in there. He won a gold card earlier in the week too, so it was fun. We were kind of goofing around.
Yeah, it was. I'm looking at you did shortchange a little bit. Josh Reichard was at the final table in event number 5, even though he was the first one out.
Oh, yeah. Well, so, yeah, he got ninth or whatever. I don't remember that. If he would've been in there deeper, he probably would've busted me.
Yeah. So, kinda, you were gonna go to Ameristar East Chicago. It is kind of like your old stomping grounds. You're if you were back in the Midwest, you definitely would have been there. What did you like? Did Jake's 4 wins and the stop ping your radar out there in Las Vegas?
I mean, was I paying attention to Jake while I was out here living in Las Vegas? No, not really, Chad.
Tell the truth, Kyna.
No.
No, I know some of my girlfriends were there though, so I had a little bit of FOMO. But it's kind of an annoying stop to get to from the city from where I live, and I'm going home for Thanksgiving this week, so this is a little too much travel for me these days. I don't have it in me to chase those stops anymore like you guys do, but it's been fun to watch. And hey, there's still one more stop left with 19 events, right? So it's anybody's game.
Yeah, that's
Um,
I mean, you're not wrong. It's the Running Aces Winter Poker Classic, December 2nd through the 14th. This is an interesting one because they put the main event at the beginning of the stop. That is so it doesn't conflict with the WPT World
yeah,
Championship, WSOP
it's a good
Paradise, etc.
idea.
Yeah, I like that. But it's going to be interesting for this Player of the Year race, though, because there are several gold card events after that going up into the next weekend. So my question to you, Jake, is what's your plan for Running Aces? Are you going to be there for, the almost 2 weeks, or are you just going to go for the main? What are you thinking?
Well, if anybody on the circuit knows that pretty much since they added in points for the undercard events, I've been playing all of them from what I can, and the mains and whatever, and Josh has too. Uma really, honestly, hasn't been playing any of the undercard. I think maybe he finally played one in Chicago, but I think that he told me, and I think that he plans to play the most or whatever of the undercard in Minnesota, and I'll be there day one till the end.
I think this is the tightest MSPT Player of the Year race since you, Kyna, since you and Taylor Howard. That was a super tight one that came down to, I think the last stop was Canterbury back then, correct?
No, it was at the Venetian.
Oh.
They had one in at the end of the year, and yeah, I remember because I was playing the side event, waiting for Taylor to bust. So it was exciting. It's cool that you guys will all be there at the stop, fighting against each other, rooting for each other too. But I mean, your side bet makes it a little more spicy, though, right? Like
Yeah,
Josh laid you some odds, so.
yeah. The initial bet just for most Player of the Year points, I got him in bad trouble on that one, but then that second one where I got to beat him by 14-33, he could easily still catch up on that. I think he's down by like 2,500. So if he does he's due to have a good performance in the main. So I'm just expecting him to win it and then I just need to make enough points to stay ahead of him.
What if is it out there what you will win on these side bets? Can't remember if you shared that the last
Yeah,
time.
I did on that first one. The most I can win is 52K. So, and the most I could lose is 26. So, with just a simple breakdown of it,
Yeah,
But
but
you have
damn.
to clear player. You have to
have to
also
win
win
Player of the
player of
Year.
the
Yeah,
year.
it'll be
Yeah. So.
if I just beat him, don't win Player of the Year, and it's under 14-33, then it'll only be 10K. So there's a lot
Oh,
of swings.
And this is going to
fun.
be an exciting finish, right? So I'm actually going to come up to Running Aces for the main event. I want to be there to see how this plays out. Whether it's you, whether it's Umut, I mean, I don't know, Josh, if he wins the main and then maybe wins a little bit, but it seems like it's a two-man race right now.
Yeah, yeah,
And I've
he's gonna go ahead.
no, I mean, it's been a
Yeah,
back and forth throughout this entire season 16, and this last stop giving you the lead going into it. I don't know. I want to be there. I'm going to play. So hopefully I'm in there with you guys.
yeah,
Maybe we make a final table again. But if I'm not, I'm going to be like on the table side watching you guys and, reporting alongside Anthony Thompson to see who's going to win this thing. Cause I think it's that exciting. I mean, just your rise, you're the breakout star of season 16 without a doubt. And then Umit going for his third MSPT Player of the Year title
yeah.
in a row, which would be historic in itself. So you're kind of stopping that if you can pull it out. Not to mention your side bets. It's a great story all around.
You guys gotta help me get out the name I came up for it. If Uma wins it, call it the Oz Turkey.
That's a good one.
That is really good. I like that a lot. Yeah, so the Oz Turkey, and then that would be incredible too if he wins 3 Player of the Year in a row. You guys have both had remarkable seasons. I do want to ask you, what's been a highlight for you in season 16? Like, is it winning the 4 gold cards? Was it finishing runner up in Riverside? What's been like the big memory for you?
Yeah, it would definitely be between those two things. Maybe, and then the third thing would be just the good finish in St. Louis, I'd say. A few other highlights, I guess, would be winning my first gold card when my wife got here in Wisconsin was really cool. So she got to be there for that. And then in Firekeepers I got first at the in the $400 event when I had been having a horrible week, both in the main and also just being dumb gambling in the pits. So that kind of like saved the trip there. So all that stuff.
Speak.
Um,
And
can I say that my highlight is finishing one place better than you in the Venetian MSPT?
there we go. And honestly, for me, like outside of my own results, the turning point of the year was basically when Josh won the Venetian. It kind of just made me rethink my whole strategy because I had basically been playing like kind of commented kind of tight the entire early in the year, just trying to ladder up and pick up points, and it had been working. And I was just kind of like killing him, and then he won one tournament and shot above me, and I was like, whoa, this isn't gonna work. I'm gonna have to go start firing, harder and like going for, instead of trying to get 18th or just like try to sneak my way into the redraw. Like I was like, I'm gonna have to start like making final tables and going for wins, or I'm just gonna get blown away. So that's
That's
kinda
Awesome.
really
what's been
fun that
going.
you
Yeah.
have, like, that competitive spirit and you have, like, friends that can drive you to do
Yeah.
that and to, like, accomplish things and challenge you,
Yeah.
and I think it was really fun to be there when Josh won too, like, I know you were kinda anti-sweating him, but, like, not really, right? Because that's your buddy, but it was, like, super fun to see him finally win one again, and be
For
there and
sure,
watch
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and those guys in Vegas are a lot tougher sometimes than
Yeah.
some of these Midwest fields, so, and he rises to the occasion always, and his style and strategies, transfer very well to, like, the higher stake stuff as we've all seen, whereas I'm just, like, haven't even really got my foot in the door on that stuff, so that's kinda, like, more of a long-term goal is to keep getting better and get onto his level, you know?
Well, you're well on your way. And you mentioned the gold cards. You are now the leader with 6 gold cards ahead of Michael Sterick, who has 4.
He'll
Farm Boy,
pass
your
me in the
friend
next
John.
San Diego stop. He wins. That guy had 11 MSPT undercard wins before they introduced the gold cards, and I told him when they started, I said, "Just so you know, buddy, you're starting back at 0 now." And then he won 4 in the first one, so he kinda shut me up, you know?
Yeah, well, you answered back
Yeah.
in Ameristar East Chicago. Farm Boy John Kerfman, he's in 3rd place with 3. Josh Reichard has 2, along with 3 other players. So got a nice little lead, at least for now.
Yeah. I gave
Um,
I got them all
but
set up. My wife's been, making a little mantelpiece for me, but I gave one of them to my buddy Joel Brown who came around. I think I'm gonna tell him he's gonna have to start playing tournaments, and, once he wins one, then he'll have to give me mine back.
There you go. I love it. It's like trading baseball cards or
Yeah,
football cards. You're trading MSPT gold cards.
yeah.
I before we let you go, Jake, I do want to ask another question. I asked your kind of favorite memory of season 16. Do you have a favorite stop that you've been to in season 16?
Um I would say this was the first year that I went to Firekeepers, and it's just incredible. It's just so big, and it's. I remember thinking on the first time that where I actually ran semi deep and was like Final Four tables or whatever that it was still pretty soft. Like you'd see some, like it was playing like a 400 kind of, So it's just a lot of good value in that tournament, and it's well run, very well run. I think secondarily, probably Potawatomi. I'm hoping that maybe they go to the normal structure with the 30K starting stack next year. I just like that better myself.
Yeah, it's not so bad
Yeah,
though. It
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a different mindset. So like I kind of got used to. I thought that at first
Uh-huh.
too. Then playing it, you're like, okay, people actually think that they have a lot more chips
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
don't.
They still
So
might play it
it's
worse because of it too. Yeah, so
yeah.
that one, probably those two, and then just like I just kind of like obviously love Riverside now that I had my biggest score, and it's also it's the closest MSPT to home I think besides Grand Falls, which that one's pretty small. So I mean, I like
Yeah.
Did you
yeah.
guys get any spicy warnings in Riverside? I remember I was playing blackjack there one time, and they almost kicked me out because I said the F word too many times.
Riverside, they can be a little strict, especially if they think you've been drinking and
Yeah.
stuff. So you got to be a little careful in that aspect. I think one night they sent me to my room one time this year, but whatever. But
Yeah,
I
I remember
wasn't
like
in the tournament at the
mid-tournament
time. We were
too.
just goofing off with them.
Ri
They just told me go to
right.
bed.
One time mid-tournament, somebody got asked to leave because
Yeah.
they were too drunk and, like, they're in the
I heard
tournament,
somebody
and
s-
so they're pretty
I
strict
heard
there.
somebody snitched on him. I heard the storyline, but it was kind of funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's not cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, I want to thank you for taking the time to chat with Kyna and I. Wish you good luck heading into this final stop. Like I said, I'll be up there. I'm going to travel up. I'll see you compete in the main event alongside you. Maybe stop you, maybe stop Umut. Who knows? But I'm excited for this finish. Win or lose, you should be very proud of what you've done here in season 16.
I am. I'm gonna love going up against Uma for the last on his home turf. I know he's not gonna go down without a fight. He'll probably pass me before the end of the series, and maybe we'll go back and forth a couple times. He's a great ambassador for the MSPT. He's a great guy. He loves taking everybody out to dinner, whatever, and he's just the nicest guy ever. Helps me with anything out in life outside of poker. He's willing to help. He's just a great guy.
All right, we are back. Thank you, Jake Long, for taking the time to chat with us. Kinda, I asked him a couple questions there that I'll ask you, and I'll also share mine. What has been your favorite memory from MSPT season 16? And also, what's your kind of favorite stop from the past year?
Oh, favorite memory. I actually always really enjoy when I do well at the Venetian. I mean, I don't play as many anymore, and so to, like, go pretty deep in the Venetian, which was actually I think that first one of the year was actually pretty big too, pretty big prize pool, because I got something like 10th for, like, 14K or so, maybe 10K, I can't remember, but it was still, like, a lot for getting 10, and, the Venetian's always just, like, a lot of really good players, so it felt really good to start the year strong, and then also, like, Potawatomi, like, bringing back the Potawatomi stop. That was awesome to get to finally go back there again, see everybody. I love going to Potawatomi. I'm going home for Thanksgiving, and I'm making sure to have a day where I can go up and hang out with Missy and Danny at Pato. So I really like that. I think that's my favorite memory. Oh, and watching Josh win, of course. Rickety old Josh finally had to bank another one, and I was glad to be there when he did.
Yeah. For me, I think obviously finishing third in the
Yeah.
MSPT Riverside. I actually didn't know Jake Long at that time. Like, so
All
getting
right.
to play with him, and then he finished second, and then Mike Estes, who's a friend, he actually won it. So just being a part of that was awesome. Of course, the money was nice. But I also really just enjoyed getting this podcast going. It's helped
Yeah.
me reconnect with the MSPT, which I spent several years working for. The players there are very near and dear to my heart, and they like the show. Like, they're literally coming up
Huh.
to us at stops and saying it. So, this has been a lot of fun just to get this show going.
Yeah, I have fun too. It's a lot more laid back. I feel like I don't need to wear pants. I can just pull up in my chair, make sure I've got a good hoodie on, and here we go, ready to go.
Yep. As for my favorite stop, that's a tough one. Like, I really am glad that it's back at Pato because it's literally down the road from me, about an hour drive. Firekeepers is amazing, as Jake said. I was over there and got to just experience that for the first time since before the pandemic. Riverside is always just a near and dear stop to my heart because I've made 2 final tables there. But I also do really like running aces. I was there
Yeah.
earlier in the season. Um, had a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to going back up there here this weekend to see the conclusion of this Player of the Year race. I'm going to play myself, see if I can't, end the year on a high note. And yeah, like I said, kind of, we've got one more episode that we'll be back to recap the winner of that stop, all the gold card winners, and to finally see who wins MSPT Season 16 Player of the Year.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting one. I wanna add to your list too, though, because I would say Pato is, like, one of my favorite stops because of the people, but I really like going to Black Hawk, and I looked
Mhm.
into it for next year, and I think because I got a new car, I might take a road trip and go out there for that stop if it's not too bad of a weather. The only thing about going out there is you have to drive up the mountain, but it's such a pretty stop, even though the casino is, like, fairly small, just, like, the area and being up in the mountains and the air being fresher, like, I'm definitely gonna have to check that one out again.
I agree with you, and if you go, maybe I'll fly out because I haven't been there since I worked for the MSPT, but I loved it. It's such a unique stop right
Yeah.
in the gulch and stuff. So, and kind of for those who have been watching, they see your hoodie there, the Tilted Compass
Ah,
hoodie. What can you tell
it's
us about? Oh, and it
kinda
even has your
cool.
name.
Yeah, this is custom made for me, kinda cool, the kitty cat and the glass of wine. Yeah, Tilted Compass is a great company. They make the MSPT merch if you wanna get yourself an MSPT sweatshirt or just a Tilted Compass sweatshirt or a new fire backpack. Check out Tilted Compass. I think it's tilted-compass. You can use code Kyna for 15% off.
There you go. All right, well, that's going to do it for episode 9. One reminder, there is one stop left. It is the MSPT Winter Poker Classic at Running Aces Casino, December 2nd through the 14th. There are 18 gold card events. The main event is at the beginning, remember, December 4th through the 7th, that first weekend. But there are plenty of side events, including a ladies event, a tag team event, a seniors event. You can check out the full schedule on msptpoker.com. I will be there, and then Kyna and I will be back with episode 10 to close out the year later in December. And until then, as they like to say on the MSPT, we are suited for players.